To yield to the gentleman from Michigan, Mr. Bentivolio. He's retired as a Sergeant First Class in the Army National Guard, had service in Iraq in 2007, and served in Vietnam as an infantry rifleman from 70 to 71. I yield to the gentleman from Michigan.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the gentleman from Ohio and brother-in-arms for the opportunity to speak today. Mr. Speaker, my grandfather served in World War I, and my father and uncle served in the 1940s. The gentleman who lived in the house across the street from where I grew up was a former sailor in World War II. His aircraft carrier was hit by a kamikaze. Down the street a few houses was someone who fought in the Korean War. His daughter, Cookie, gave me my first kiss. Near him lived another veteran who served on a destroyer in the Navy, and there were two men across the street from him who served together in General Patton's Third Army as part of the force that relieved the 101st Airborne at Bastogne. I can still see their faces. Their examples of service played a crucial role in why I served in the armed services. Our next-door neighbor was Charles Parker, Sr. As a Marine in World War II, he received the Purple Heart on Iwo Jima. His son, Charles, Jr., was my best friend. And when I think of Chuck, I still smile. He was a guy who stood up for the little guy. I remember one time when this big bully picked on this little kid and a fight started. Chuck rushed into action and broke up the fight. He defended the weak. Doing the right thing matters. Charles Parker's name is inscribed on the Vietnam Wall Memorial, Panel 40 West, line 25. He died in service to his country on October 23, 1968. Doing the right thing matters. But I think my understanding of service can be best summed up in the message of the movie Saving Private Ryan. Perhaps you've seen it. If you haven't, let me tell you what it's about. The movie begins with an elderly man walking through the cemetery off the beach at Normandy. His family is quietly following behind him. The scene then shifts to a landing craft heading for the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. Tom Hanks plays the part of Captain Miller, 2nd Rangers. As the landing craft hits the beach, the soldiers quickly experience the horrors of battle. Many of his comrades are killed and wounded in the scenes that follow. But after securing the beach, Captain Miller receives new orders. His new mission is to locate and bring home Private Ryan, played by Matt Damon, who's in the 101st Airborne, and Ryan's three brothers were recently killed within weeks of each other, and the Army thinks that no family should lose 4 sons to war. With a small contingent of soldiers under his command, Captain Miller sets off to locate Ryan. Over the course of a few days, Miller's group takes several losses. Eventually, they find him in a small village in France, but alas, he decides to stay and fight alongside his brothers in arms as they defend the small bridge in the village. During the battle, most of Miller's soldiers are killed. Only 2 remain. Captain Miller receives a mortal wound and sits gasping, his back against a motorcycle. He looks up at young Private Ryan and says, with his last breaths, "Earn this. Earn this." The scene changes to a close-up of Matt Damon. His face changes from young Ryan to the older man we met at the beginning of the movie. He's overlooking a gravestone that reads, Captain Miller, 2nd Rangers. Old Ryan falls to his knees in front of the gravestone and says, "Not a day goes by that I don't remember what you all did for me. I tried to live my life the best that I could. I hope that was enough. I hope that, at least in your eyes, I've earned what all of you have done for me." Let me tell you something. Not a day goes by that I don't remember what the fathers of my childhood friends and playmates did for us to protect the American dream, and my good friend Parker. No matter where your family hails from, No matter what your background is, as citizens of this great nation, we must never let it be said that we've forgotten what our forefathers did for us. To my fellow veterans of the 182nd Field Artillery of the Michigan Army National Guard, and to all the veterans, past and present, thank you for your service. May God always bless America, and may we continue to be the home of the free because of the brave. With that,